You go to a gathering, and it starts the same way every time. What do you do? Which team do you work in? A few questions, a few short answers, and then awkward silence. I've been there many times. Not just at work, but in all kinds of situations. Meeting a distant cousin at a wedding who you haven't seen in years, or talking to a complete stranger at a bar. And every time, it feels the same. Awkward, uncomfortable, forced. But what if you could talk to anyone and never run out of things to say? The truth is, we all have some level of social anxiety. For some, it's small. For others, it's bigger. And me, I was on the more advanced level. No cheat codes, no shortcuts. So over time, I had to figure it out myself. And eventually, I developed 3 simple methods to speak to anyone and never be awkward again. Well, most of the time. At first, I blamed myself. I'm too shy, I'm not confident, I'm just socially awkward. But then I noticed something strange. Around people I was comfortable with, I was completely different. Relaxed, talkative, even funny. So I asked myself, how can the same person be so different? And that's when it hit me. It wasn't a personality problem. It wasn't even a confidence problem. It was a skill problem. I simply hadn't learned the art of small talk. Because just like playing an instrument or writing poetry, talking to people is a skill. And like any skill, it can be learned. So after years of trial and error and observing people better than me, I realized something simple. There are only 3 things you need to speak to anyone and never run out of things to say. And the best part? You can start using them immediately. Let's say someone tells you, I'm going to play golf this weekend. Now, you have 2 choices. You can say, oh, that's interesting, and then just stare into space, listening to the sound of silence. Or you ask better questions. Where do you usually play? How long have you been playing? And now the conversation continues, which leads to more questions. Do you play competitively? Are you part of a club? And just like that, the conversation flows. Now, you might not even care about golf, but that's not the point. What matters is you're showing interest, or at least you're creating that perception. And more importantly, you remove awkward silence. Because when you really think about it, a conversation is just a series of questions and answers. And the person who asks the questions is the one in control. But for that, you need to ask the right questions. Most people think to become better at speaking, you need to speak more. But the truth is, it's the opposite. To become a better communicator, you need to listen more. Not just hear, but truly listen. Because most of the time, we're not listening to understand. We're listening to reply. We start preparing our answer before the other person even finishes. And that's why we say things that don't even make sense, leading to more awkward moments. But when you listen properly, you understand better. And when you understand better, you ask better questions. And when you ask better questions, the conversation flows naturally. As the saying goes, most people don't listen to understand, they listen to reply. Don't be that person. There are already too many. And finally, the cherry on top. Find common ground. We naturally connect with people who are like us. Same interests, same experiences, same mindset. Sometimes it's obvious, like both of you liking golf. Other times, it takes effort. But if you ask the right questions, you'll always find something. And once you do, move the conversation there, because that's where it starts flowing effortlessly. Now here's the truth. Not every conversation will work. Sometimes it will be awkward. Sometimes it will go nowhere. And that's okay. Learn to be comfortable with silence. At the end of the day, it's just silence, and it will pass. But if you use these 3 methods more often than not, you'll be able to talk to anyone and never run out of things to say.